Very good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jimmy. Today it's the 10th of March. It's number 69 of this year, 2025. And I believe 2025 hasn't treated everyone very well. I know for a fact that a lot of people, they round trip their profits from 2024 and even 2023. A lot of people, they lost money, probably the majority this year. And there's a lot of uncertainty going on. Bitcoin is behaving quite well. We might see even, more bigger retracements to lower levels. But it's mainly the altcoins that are painting the current sentiment. Today in this video, I'm mainly going to focus on Bitcoin, maybe some altcoins. This is also an invite to hit that like button and comment. And if you want me to cover one of your altcoins, let me know and I might do a TA on it. Once in a while, I will pick and select the most requested one. So for now, Bitcoin. When there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of drama, a lot of thought going on, what I tend to do is just zoom out, see the bigger picture, and then ask yourself, what is the chart representing? What is it telling me? And let's start from the right to the left. The week just started, so this candle is basically irrelevant. What's more relevant is actually how we closed last week and the week before. Especially the week before, we had this major, huge wick. One of the biggest, probably this wick is in the top, I would say top 5 of the biggest wicks since the cycle low. It quickly wicked below and then it closed above, which could give you a hint of bullishness because it's still trending above the 21 EMA and it refused to close as low as 78k. But then the next week basically filled that entire wick almost, and we closed for the first time since September 2024 below the 21 EMA. This is actually a sign of weakness. We also have the bearish divergence here going on, still playing out. And normally my thesis, my principle is nothing good happens when the RSI is below the 50 level for a long time, just like we had here, and just like this instance, for example, and this instance. So ideally, we want that the RSI is curling up above the 50 level, because often when you see the RSI curling above the 50 level, it actually introduces a new trend, or often it what follows is a new strong uptrend, as you can see here, as you can see here as well, and as you can see here, that's actually a good sign. But for now, it doesn't look that too fantastic, especially on the one-day chart. Listen, if you go to the weekly chart and you hide price and you concentrate on the 21 EMA, only the 21 EMA, what do you see here? And especially focus here, what do you see here? The speed, how the 21 EMA is going up, the way it accelerates to the upside, is actually slowing down here. And this is actually really a sign of weakness, and this could, this should cause a concern as a long-term holder or a swing trader or a position trader. We had a similar situation here, right? 21 EMA going up, and then suddenly it was here kind of flattening. So this is what this tells you. Okay, the trend is actually exhausted. So that's actually my take on the 21 EMA and the weekly chart. We also have this bearish divergence playing out. Ideally, for me to believe, okay, this bearish divergence has fully played out, I want to see the RSI curling up above the 50 level. And then I would say that's the bearish divergence. That's the 30% drop we got since the high of January 2025. In the previous video, I've showcased the numbers of corrections we had since the cycle low, since 2022, December 2022, 20-30%. It's not uncommon. It's very normal. We should get used to it. But it's actually very much the altcoins in the altcoin market that actually prints the sentiment of now. So don't let that sentiment change the way how you see Bitcoin from a TA perspective. This is the one-day chart, and this chart does, especially short-term, actually for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks, it does show some concerns, and I have my concerns, and I'm happy to share them with you. So let's zoom out a little bit to understand, what the structure is, what the primary trend is, the secular trend. And notice that every time we had this rectangle, this range, what happened? Bitcoin broke to the upside. Just like here, we broke out to the upside, and here as well, we broke out to the upside. But this time, we didn't actually, right? This is actually the first time that Bitcoin broke to the downside after the ETFs, after the halving, after the election, after all these major events. We had this breakdown. And to be honest, market participants in general, the markets, they love narratives. They love to anticipate something on. They love to look forward to something. We don't have a lot of things to look forward to. We do have the Bitcoin strategic reserve, but still there's a lot of doubt and uncertainty. What's actually cost neutral? So they basically need to sell something and it shouldn't affect the taxpayers and then buy Bitcoin. Probably the best way for them to acquire Bitcoin is to confiscate them, because that's actually the Bitcoin reserve. It is actually all what it is. It's actually a bunch of confiscated Bitcoins now managed by the government, by the US government. I will change my thoughts on it when they have like a real clear plan how they want to add more Bitcoin to their strategic reserves, because only then I will believe that a Bitcoin strategic reserve could cause or make traders believe that buying Bitcoin now is a good thing. So for now, what do we see here? Let's analyze this piece of price action. What do we see here? Think for yourself. I'm going to comment what I see here. And by the way, since you're thinking, you know what that like button is. Hit and smash that like button. Drop a comment if you want me to cover something, you like this video, or you do not like this video. Just drop that comment. Look, as I said, this is a first breakdown. And look how easily we pierced through this range low all the way down, printed this huge wick. And then we closed above the 200 MA. This orange line here is the 200 MA. And then Bitcoin tried to get inside of this range and get rejected again, bounced from the 200 MA. This is a classical bearish retest. This is how a bearish retest looks like, right? And then we got this strong rejection. And now, what do we see here? We see here actually a few things. Bitcoin is trading below the 200 MA. The day is not over yet, okay? We still have 11 hours and 30 minutes. But a close like this, that's not really that good. And see here, is this March? Yeah, this is March. This is the March open, this blue line here. So at the moment we're trading below the March open, we're trading below the 20 or the 200 MA, and I agree the day is not over yet, but if we're gonna close like this, this isn't good. This isn't really good, and this might cause some more friction and some more downside price action. From a volume profile perspective, Look this big gap here, this low volume node. If we're gonna, lose, if we're gonna see like a rejection around the 200 MA and the March open, don't be surprised we're gonna see 75K in, this week or next week even. I would love for Bitcoin to reclaim the March open in the next few days. We have this very strong downtrend on the RSI. And for the first time since August, actually, or September, what do we have here? I'm going to remove this. So you guys already know, right? The March open, 200 MA, they're pretty much now at the same level. What do we see here? We see a bullish divergence forming. This is the first bullish divergence that comes from an oversold area. This is since August. In this cycle, we had 3 of them that played out quite well. We had one here. Look what happened here. And also, Bitcoin broke down. Look this severe downside price action, right? And then it went up. This is where people capitulated. We had an instance here. Also, look, these big wicks. That's actually where people capitulate, mainly because psychological biases. And here we had another one. And look what happened with the price since then. So this downtrend could continue. And to be honest, it's actually the trend right now. It's the RSI downtrend. But we cannot neglect this bullish divergence on the RSI. So what does it mean? It means actually that we are at a very pivotal moment. We are here at this point where Bitcoin is going to become very volatile. And you can also see this from a ATR perspective. Look how volatile Bitcoin became since 2020, since 22 of February. And probably this will continue. So if we're going to see a major drop, expect the ATR, of course, to go up, because ATR does what price has done, is doing what the price has done. If Bitcoin is going up, well, the same. So do just expect more volatility in the next coming weeks. With that said, know and understand your levels. For me, it's a little bit too early to anticipate on this RSI. I might open a long position, but again, the day hasn't ended yet. If we're going to see it drop down, I'm expecting to see Bitcoin around these levels here. Taking at least this low out, And if this happens, I mean, that's not the end of the world. It's just an expansion of this range, and I'm happy to explain you what I mean. Back in, March to, June, we had this price action, right? We had this price action. And this price action came from where? From this uptrend, right? So we had this price action, and this was basically also like an exhaustion of the trend. We got here like more, whipsawing through the 200 MA, going up, whipsawing through the 200 MA here as well. What this is actually is this was between the two blue lines was a range, okay? And this range got expanded because of this breakdown. And then price was basically captured between these two lines here for a long time. And I'm seeing something similar happening here. Price broke down to the downside. And my highly likely scenario is we're going to form a new range. I do not exactly know, what the new range low would be. Like, it could be even here. Honestly, that would pretty much align with the volume profile. Even lower, as I said, like here around the green level. But somewhere there, that could be your new range low. And then we have a new range high, or basically the previous previous SNR level, like this SNR level. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna see Bitcoin moving, you know, something like this in the next few weeks and months. I haven't checked the Bitcoin dominance for a long time, so this is the Bitcoin dominance. What is this telling you? It just tells you that dominance is very strong. At this moment, I rather want to, you know, be fully positioned into Bitcoin than in altcoin, but of course rather prefer to open a position in altcoin if I see strong reversal signals or strength kicking in. Altcoins are here now really like the beta. This data is not lying. Look, we had a lot of capitulation events. Notice this chart, total liquidation charts. As mentioned and also as shared back in January, expect more liquidation events. And look what we got. A lot of crazy liquidation events. And look how concentrated they are here since February 2025. This is crazy. And I see this, and I believe this is a trend. So I do expect more liquidation events. Only today we had around 650 million liquidations. So 224,000 positions, traders, they were liquidated. So your goal, ladies and gentlemen, is to survive this quarter. Still have 11 days to go. I'm gonna change my thesis if I see Bitcoin reclaiming the 200 MA to the more like neutral bullish side. But for now, I'm pretty much, you know, neutralish. I don't believe this is very bearish, as I believe, you know, the next support level could be anything around here, and if it is going to break down, likely we're going to take out this low here. My tip, my suggestion is mark your levels, know when not to trade. If you're edged out or you have like a proven, you know, edge trading system for this specific environment, the best thing for you to do really is to test a lot, and then if you would, you know, deploy money, just start with a small amount. At least this is not financial advice, but this is something what I would have done. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your friends. Oh, before I forget, we gonna have some big events next week. This week we have some CPI and PPI data. I know there's a lot of tension on the market, especially the legacy market, but next week I believe this could set the tone for the next quarter. So this is the FOMC. The next FOMC will be somewhere in May. I think it's 7 May, as you guys can see here. But next week, you're going to find like a glimpse of what they think of their plans. They're going to share their plans, the statements, more clarity about federal funds rate. So mark this in your calendar. Next week, 7 o'clock p.m., I think this is UTC +1 time, is an important day. I know market participants and markets in general, they love narratives. They love something to look forward to in the crypto space. I mean, we already had election. We already had like many big events, the halving, the spot ETF, the Ethereum spot ETF. Now we need something new, something ideally from a monetary policy perspective. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Talk next week. Bye-bye.